Welcome back to the regularly programmed material. So, went on a little bit of a tangent in the last video, just to kind of like cap that out. A lot of people have been making videos. Dom from Boots on the Table with Dom, one of my favorite channels. By the way, I'll link his video. If you guys aren't subscribed to him, please subscribe. He's a maniac. He paints a lot. And he has a lot. He's been in the hobby for a very long time, and he paints a lot of miniatures. And he pretty much said what I said, just in a way more eloquent way, typical Brit fashion. So the points were largely the same, though. And other people have begun to make videos as well. Seventh Son made a video that which was much more middle of the road, not directly talking about the midwinter minis. Man, I cannot say that to save my life. Video itself, but talking just in general about historical gaming and why he does it. So I'll link some of those videos below, and if you guys, I'm sure most of you guys are subbed to their channels, because their channels are much bigger and they've been doing it for a much longer time than me. But yeah, like some good points from all on the subject. So you know, it just blows my mind that this Twitter think mentality has just really seeped into every facet of our lives. Like it really bothers me. It really bothers me that somebody who has no idea what they're talking about doesn't. He can name 10 chapters of Space Marines, but probably couldn't name 10 campaigns or 10 army level commanders from World War II, but is going to sit there and lecture people more about morality. Like who is somebody to do that? And then to sit there and say, I'm not calling anybody a Nazi, but by the way, if you collect these army, you must be a Nazi. Like, or you must have Nazi tendencies, right? And it's just like, that's another slap in the face. It's like, well, you know, you're not a bitch, but you're a bitch. You know, it's like, come on. Like you're going to sit there and you're going to preface something by saying, oh, well, you're not this, and then end it in the same sentence by saying, but you must be it if you do it. It's like, that's like double speak. It's like double speak, and it's a cop-out. It's a way to be like, oh, well, I didn't say everybody. And it's ridiculous because, you know, I paint a lot of people. Dom, especially Dom, does like he's kind of like what I want to be when I grow up, right? Like he games all periods, like medieval, ancient, Napoleonics, World War II. Like you really don't see one specific English Civil War. You don't see one specific thing on his channel. And he paints armies from multiple sides of the conflict. He just doesn't have Brits and for Napoleonics. He has Brits and French and Prussians and Russians probably and Austrians, and that's the whole thing. Like I don't just have German World War II armies. I have Brits. I have Americans. I have Japanese. You know, I just don't have Romans. I have, you know, well, maybe a bad example because I'm just now starting to paint some barbarians, but you know what I mean? Like I collect multiple sides from multiple conflicts because at the end of the day, you want to have that flexibility to play what you want. And maybe your friends who you game with don't have that period of miniatures and you have extra armies. Like I play on Holy Divers armies when I don't have 100 Years War stuff. So I play with Holy Divers 100 Years War collection when we play medievals. So, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. But anyways, tangent over. What we got is 24 Thracians. I had these guys. I had already started painting them when my newest project, finally the first parts of it started to arrive in the mail. And I wanted to get these done. They're 24 Thracians from Foundry Worlds of the Greeks line. And man, these miniatures, they are just beautiful. If you guys are into Ancients and you have not bought Foundry World of the Greek stuff, you're missing out on the fine life because these miniatures are just top notch. These with the Aventine have to be some of my favorite metal ancient miniatures. Like it's so hard to beat them. Just beautifully sculpted. I mean, some of the miniatures had teeth sculpted on them. Teeth in their mouths. I don't even know how they did that. but everything is exquisitely detailed and sculpted on these miniatures. They're completed. I did these miniatures in 5 days, all 24, which is really kind of fast for me. I normally do like 12 in a week. So 24 in a week. That's like double output for me. And this unit was a little hard to paint, as you can see here. There's patterns all over them. They had capes. They have cloaks and tunics and lots of really cool stuff. But we got through them, and I got through them because they were so enjoyable. I got a lot of enjoyment painting them. Just could not put them down. I'd paint 3 hours a day and just loved every brush stroke of it. So I'll show off some of the few. It's a Thracian warband. These are supposed to be, pre-successor area, so they have the crescent shields. They're not going to have Thurios shields. They don't have that Galatian Celtic influence yet. So these would be more suitable for Greco-Persian wars, Peloponnesian wars, and wars of the 4th century in Greece, which these guys were used a lot throughout. But you could also use them, with successors, because I'm sure they still use these shields. It wasn't like it's just like, oh, Galatians are here, we only use Thurios shields now. So I think there's a lot of crossover for these guys. I kind of went ham on the patterns. Not all of them have patterns. I gave these guys a lot of love, and it was a lot of fun painting these guys. Yeah, I really enjoyed how they turned out. I'll show some of the character figures. I have character figures mixed in here. So this is one guy. He's getting drunk as a skunk. He has an amphora right there. He's like singing. I don't know what he's doing. He's having a jolly good time. And this is kind of going to be like the war boss leader right there. He has that severed human head that I did with some blood effect there. And he has like a sack of booty or loot or a sack of wine. I don't even know what. But another one of my favorite there. I have a few females mixed in there. That's actually the worst face sculpt out of the whole lot. By far. By far that was the worst. I don't do eyes, so don't judge me. Here's another woman. This one has a bow. She turned out pretty good. I like the way she turned out. And then we got a couple of females with swords. I did one as a blonde. Her face sculpt was a lot better than the one. And then there's another female I did as a redhead. But, oh no, brunette. But I did them as a mix. I just did a lot of... Hers is probably the best face sculpt out of the females. But I just kind of did a mix. And as you can see, I went crazy with the patterns. Kind of what I had to do. These guys are probably even more colorful than Persians. And they had jewelry on them and all sorts of little fine details to pick out. But yeah, so that's those. We did get the footsore miniature order in. So I got 12 cavalry and 48 infantry for late Romans out of that order. So we're going to start painting that. My goal is I want to get... Today's the 18th. I already have the first 24 primed, and I'm literally going to start on them today. So my goal is to finish that 24 by the end of the month, because Triarius has a painting schedule for us, and to hit our goal, I think we both got to paint like 24 miniatures a month on average between now and Historicon, which is very doable. Very, very doable. I think I'll be able to do that, because even some months, if I don't have any painting, I typically average 50 to 80 miniatures a month. So even if I have a couple missed months in there, I can make up for it. But we're going to get the 24 done this month, and it's going to be unarmored, an Auxilia unit, an Auxilia Comatensis unit, so part of the Mobile Field Army. Not the Limitani. So they're going to be unarmored, though. They're in various poses. We'll get them done. They're great looking miniatures. And then after that, I'll probably go into the armored Auxilia unit we have. So how we've decided to do it for the Romans is that we're going to have Auxilia in Legione units. And the Auxilia are going to be 20 to 24 miniatures strong, and then the actual legionary units are going to be 40 to 48 strong. So, because you know, that's pretty noted that the auxiliary units were 500 men, and the legioni units were 1,000 men. So that's kind of how we're going to represent the differences there. And essentially, me and him are both taking a wing of the army, and then there's going to be a reserve in cavalry. So I got the left and the center. He's going to do the right and the reserve, and then there's the cavalry, and we're kind of splitting the cavalry. So I'm going to start painting up auxilia units, and then next month I'm placing a $300 US dollar order with Aventine for some Byzantine, early Byzantine. So think Justinian, Belisarius period miniatures. But I think they'll fit. They'll do fine. They'll do fine for Julian. They'll do fine. Not all of the miniatures are suitable. They have a lot with long mail coats that I don't think would be very suitable for the period. But then they got a lot with the short mail coats and the Terragis and scale armor and things of that such, which I think are very suitable for the period. So I'm going to get that ordered, and we got a bunch of Germans already in the mail coming, hopefully soon, from Foundry. So more of the great cobblestone Solace stuff from Foundry for the German barbarians, and then next month we're going to order another boatload of late Romans from Aventine, and we already got the foot source stuff left. So after that, I won't have too much left to buy for the late Romans, maybe another 50 or 60 so miniatures, but I will have a decent amount to buy for the Germans. So definitely enough to I got enough on hand to keep me going for a month-ish, maybe even two. But we already got one order coming, and then we got another order I'm going to place on top of that. So I should, within the next month, I should have over half the force already collected for both the barbarians and the Romans. And we'll be on our merry way. So next time you guys see a video from me, barring any more YouTube drama of people blatantly trying to say people are Nazis because they paint little German toy soldiers, the next video you should be seeing is some late Romans on the table. So we're going to put these guys to the side. I don't have the shield transfers for them. I'm going to order the shield transfers for them when I order the shield transfers for the Romans, because I'm going Little Big Man Studio, of course. So they're just gonna have to be in the raw for a minute. So I'm not gonna base them. We're just gonna put them aside, and then when I get the shield transfers in, then I'll do the shield transfers. I'll take a slight pause from the Romans, you know, from the Julian project, and then I'll get the shield transfers on and base these guys. And then they'll be good for a game. It'll be a small warband that I could use for Platea, but yeah. So the rest of the Thracians are on hold. I already got about 80 of the Thracians already collected. It was supposed to be about 100 to 115 miniatures in total for that army, but they're going to be on hold, and we're going straight into the Romans. So until next time, guys, keep on painting.